So love the style of an Neverfull, but thinking that it might not be the one for you? Here are some of the most underrated, under-discussed alternatives to the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. Hello, and the warmest of welcome to today's video. For those of you who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, glad to have you here. Those who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you enjoy my videos. I put out videos roughly 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion, slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please do head down, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, and just celebrating who you are. Celebrating yourself and celebrating others. So, today we are going to talk about some alternatives to a very popular bag, and this is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. Now, the Louis Vuitton Neverfull is popular for a reason. It is iconic, it is durable, it is fairly versatile. It can be a travel bag, a work bag, a beach bag, a shopper. You know, this is a bag that has, graced the shoulder of many an individual, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think its popularity counts against it. It wouldn't be so popular if it wasn't a good bag. However, there are alternatives available, and particularly with the price increases that we're seeing, Louis Vuitton, other brands going through, it might be time to think about something that's a little bit different. And the Neverfull now for a GM sits at about $14.50. But what's great about the LV structure is that for a GM, an MM, or a PM, I think they are, those the 3 sizes, there's not a huge price jump. So go for the one that suits you best. Don't go for a GM just because it's, value for money. If it's not going to work for your lifestyle, don't go for it. Go for whichever one works best for you, otherwise you just won't use it. But this type of bag style is a great one. It can be very versatile. I only have one really within my collection, and mine was just a Karl Lagerfeld version because it's not a bag style I gravitate towards very much. To be honest, I don't use this one very much. It's a great bag, but I don't use it very often. But it's just a very easy, throw on the shoulder, away you go kind of thing. Tend to use this more for work than anything, but it's a great bag, just don't use it very often. But like I said, the Neverfull is popular for a reason. So I am certainly not here to downplay that particular bag. I think it's great. Would I get along with a Neverfull myself? I don't think I will, for the exact reason that I don't use that style of bag. If I was going to buy something that fell within the LV Classics range, I would go for a Speedy. It is just much more my gig. However, like I said, Neverfull, popular for a reason, great bag. I think it's very chic. I like it very much. But, like I said, there are alternatives. So, let's talk those through. And some of these bags, funnily enough, I have versions of. I just don't have the tote version of. And that's what this list is going to be. This list is going to be long shoulder tote bags. So essentially, in order to qualify for this list, it needs to be long shoulder, and it needs to be essentially a open space in the center. Nothing that's overly compartmentalized, nothing that's overly thought through, just kind of a large open space that you can put everything that you possibly need and the kitchen sink. So, without further ado, let's get started with a brand that actually my bag of the day is from. My bag of the day, my MCM RN Shopper. This is a double-handled bag. However, the MCM RN Shopper that I'm going to show you is also a double strap bag, but it's a little bit different to mine. And the reason that this one's a little bit different to mine is that it's a canvas, but it doesn't have the PVC aspect that my shopper has. You can buy this one, but it's a very different type of bag, I believe. I don't think it sits within the same category. So you can buy this logo glitch canvas Aran shopper, which has a top handle plus the long shoulder, and it is just essentially a large open space. It is lined, it is a beautiful, beautiful item. It will be durable. MCM is not the most talked about brand. It's not the most seen brand. I think there is a very bold nature to it, but you don't see a lot of MCM pieces. I myself don't see myself as someone who's particularly cool. So therefore I don't buy a lot of MCM, although, you know, maybe I'll live my best life and buy some more MCM because they do some beautiful pieces. But this is a very practical style. The fact that you can carry it top handle plus shoulder is very, very versatile. It's a great item and it's a reasonable price point, £730. I don't think is a bad price point whatsoever for this type of bag style. It will just be very easy to use. They are carefree and they're just easy to maintain. It's canvas as well, which matches the Louis Vuitton, although I'm not sure if this canvas is coated. I don't believe it is. It doesn't look like it is. If you know, let me know. But I think it will be an uncoated canvas, which maybe from a durability perspective puts it slightly behind the LV. Okay, can we just also talk about how from a quality perspective, the hardware is 24 karat gold plated? I know there's not a huge amount of hardware, but that feels like a big thing from a quality perspective from this brand. You know, heard so much about that from Chanel, etc. So definitely something to shout about. But it's nearing half the price of the LV for a luxury German brand. So there you are. Let me know what you think of this one. Now, if sustainability is your thing, look no further than Anya Hindmarch. Anya Hindmarch does not get the credit it deserves when it comes to luxury bags, discussion of luxury bags. And Anya Hindmarch makes the fabulous I'm a Plastic Bag Shopper. This comes in a range of different sizes. I am showing you the XL, which is probably most comparable to a Neverfull GM, but there are smaller sizes, different price points. They have price points of the 500, 600, 700 pounds. This one's in the 700 pound price point, but also in the sale, FYI, there is one currently available in 200 pounds, which is a fabulous price point, and it's a beautiful shade of blue. So definitely one to think about. This again is just a great throw on your shoulder, throw everything into it. A little bit carefree, but still very fun. Still got a bit of a logo, a bit of a motif about it. Nice, bright, bold colours. Very playful, very enjoyable. From a brand that we don't hear about quite so much. So definitely something to be thinking about if you don't want something that other people are carrying, but you very much want the same aesthetic or you want the same practicalities that something like a Neverfull can bring. Why not consider something like an Anya Hindmarch? And I also believe that Anya Hindmarch has recently opened a ice cream shop in London, which has some quite interesting flavours. I'll try and insert what that looks like here, but I think there's like Earl Grey and stuff like that. So definitely a brand to keep an eye on. Great sales as well. So even if this particular bag doesn't work for you, there will be others. And like I said, from a sustainability perspective, Anya Hindmarch is fantastic. So definitely consider looking into this brand. Whilst we're on the topic of sustainability, how could I not talk about Stella McCartney? And I'm going to talk about the Stella McCartney Falabella bag. This is a bag that was very popular in years gone by. It was very popular in the early 2010s, and for good reason, but it has stuck around. It has become a classic within the Stella McCartney range. Very much like the MCM, this also has a couple of handle options, which is fantastic. If you just want something that you can throw everything into, why not give it a little bit of extra versatility with having those long shoulder straps plus top handles? Is a more vertical bag a little bit more cumbersome to carry top handle? Sure. Something that's maybe more horizontal is easier to carry, but hey, if this works for you, absolutely fabulous. Love the materials that this comes in. Love the fact that this has the chain detailing as a strap opposed to a leather or a vegan leather option. Love that they've used metal. Love the high shine and kind of that oil slick nature of some of these bags. You can also pick up a great deal on a Falabella in a range of different sizes on the pre-loved market, but I think this medium is probably most comparable to the Neverfulls. If you start going for smaller Falabella styles, you're probably moving away from that tote style towards something slightly different. So definitely more comparable in the medium size. The price point also makes great sense. It's circa £800. So you're looking at about £500 to £600 less expensive than a Neverfull. And Stella McCartney is a great brand. It's iconic. It very much has its day and it will continue to do so. So definitely one for you to be thinking about. Now let's talk about Longchamp. And before you roll your eyes at me, I can see you doing it. Hear me out. Longchamp has some fabulous shopper styles. I am not going to sit here and compare a Les Pliage, you know, original shoulder bag to a Neverfull. I'm not going to do it, okay? Ultimately, is the functionality the same? Yes, it is. If you get the large size, just saying, for a 14th of the price. Anyway, I'm not here to be throwing those thoughts out there. I am, however, here to be throwing out there the fact that the Rousseau line has a perfect set of comparisons to the Neverfull, because you have the Rousseau shoulder bag, which is a full leather bag for circa £350, and this is a great item because, like the Neverfull, it has long shoulders. It is a kind of cavernous style, throw everything in, but what is great is that, like the Neverfull, you can cinch this in. But, and I have my Rousseau here to demonstrate, this isn't the shoulder bag, this is the top handle, but you have the ability, when it comes to the Rousseau, to popper it. So rather than having the cinching that you can do with a Neverfull, because that has the straps that cinch, you can popper it when it comes to the Rousseau, and you can get a full leather shoulder bag shopper, which is a fabulous quality piece from a great brand. I'm loving seeing that more individuals are talking about Longchamp these days. Sophie Showhat has started talking about Longchamp, and I absolutely love it, and she seems very impressed by the brand, so thank you, Sophie. We do stan Longchamp, so let's keep that going. But absolutely, Longchamp has a great alternative. However, if fabric is more your thing, there is something also that you could look at. We have the Longchamp shoulder bag, which is in this beautiful fabric in the colour Ecru. This is lovely. I've looked at this a number of times, put it in my shopping cart and then deleted it because I remember the fact that I just don't use shoulder bags and shoppers. It's just not my thing. But this is £270. It will be a little bit more casual. It could be a little bit more summery. You could use the Rousseau leather shoulder bag as your more formal shoulder bag, your work shoulder bag. Then you could use this one as your beach bag, your travel bag, your summer version. And then add the two price points together, you're at circa £600, which is less than half the price of a Neverfull. So you could have two large tote bags for half the price of a Neverfull from an iconic French fashion house, which has been going for a long time, since 1948, I believe. So, you know, it's got some longevity to it. So this is definitely something that I think we should be thinking about. They are beautiful, and the fact that you have a couple of different versions, they come out in different colours, they do come out in different styles as well. There are some other options. You do also have the Rousseau Essential, which is also a leather bag. It's just not as nice as the Rousseau shoulder bag, so stick with the Rousseau shoulder bag. And hey, like I said, you could also get a fabric version, and you've already spent half the price of a Neverfull, so there you go, you're welcome. And finally, if the MCM isn't for you, but you do want something that has those classic Neverfull features and also has a very iconic branding to it, look no further than this beautiful Burberry shopper. Do we hear Burberry bags talked about all that often? No, we don't. Should we hear them talked about more? I believe we should. You know, I'm a huge fan of the Lola collection as an example, the colours in particular. Woo, gorgeous. But how beautiful is this shoulder bag? This is a little bit more expensive versus the others. This is creeping into the £1,000 price point, so it still sits below the Neverfull. It's an absolutely beautiful piece. I believe this is also a canvas. I will insert the materials just so you're aware. I'll do that with all of them. But this is a really beautiful piece. The Burberry check is absolutely iconic. I love the fact that they've been playing with it as well, in that it doesn't have to come in a singular colorway. They can mix that up, and you can still look at this item and say, that's Burberry. I can tell instantly it's Burberry. So you don't need to have the name emblazoned to know what it is. This is iconic on its own, and this will just be a very easy style to carry. And yeah, I think it could also be paired incredibly easily, because that can sometimes be the challenge when it comes to heavy monograms, logomania. It can be a little bit difficult to pair if you don't just have a style where you think, oh, F it, I'm just gonna clash absolutely everything. Like this, for example, this can clash with a lot of things, but I have a style where I just think, ugh, who cares, whatever. I'm just gonna clash it all. Whereas if you are someone who dresses a little bit more conservatively, sometimes logos can be a little bit harder. So definitely consider this version. I think it's a beautiful piece. It's something a little bit different, and yeah, maybe that's what you're looking for. So there we have it, everyone. Those are my alternatives. Like I said, I am in no way criticizing the Neverfull because I think it is a great bag, and I think it's a great bag for a reason. These are just alternatives. Maybe you own a Neverfull, you would like something that is a similar bag style, but you don't want to own two of the same bag. That's completely fair enough as well. So definitely think about some of these if they are brands that you align with and that you consider. I've tried to steer clear of Versace and Gucci and some of the brands that we hear most commonly referenced, you know, a Gucci Ophidia. Again, great bag, but we hear them talked about quite a lot. So I thought I would try and talk about some of the brands that are maybe talked about less frequently. But thank you so much for watching. If you've watched the whole video, please do put a tree emoji down in the comments. I would love to know who stuck with me until the end. Let me know what you think of these, and let me know if there are any other bags that you would like me to do alternatives of. I am more than happy to do it. Love actually looking at alternatives, and yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks everyone. Bye now. Mwah.